Hey everybody, it's JoeDoom back for another video. Today I'm going to be talking about the costume upgrades that I did for my costume that I wore at MegaCon 2023. At this point, it was about a week ago, and I realized that last year I didn't make an update video. I think I did one the year before when I got some of the major pieces, but I want to show you what I did last year, how I improved it for this year, and a little sneak peek of what I have in mind for next year. So let's get started. One of the biggest changes that happened from previous years that I started doing last year and continued to this year was I started wearing stilts, which makes me 7'4" in full costume. Now, last year when I implemented this, I was only able to stay in my stilts for about 2 hours because one, I was not used to walking in stilts, and two, I was just using so much muscle strength to stay balanced, and it just started hurting my legs and my feet, and I just needed to get out of them. You can see these straps here. These are the straps that the stilts come with. These go around the feet. The heel goes in here. My foot goes in here. Straps down. Perfect. It came with a similar style strap here, which was about this thin, not very secure, and I was worried that I'd have to constantly adjust it or it might come loose completely. So I used a ratchet strap and ratcheted it to my leg. That ended up hurting my calf muscle. So earlier this year, actually it was towards the end of last year, I bought this. It's an actual drywall stilt padded Velcro strap. Wearing this made me feel so much more secure, and that was the most important thing. It's padded, it felt comfortable, I knew it wasn't going to come undone, I wasn't going to have to readjust it or anything. That made it a whole lot better. In the process of trying to get the stilts on last year, I had the issue of them falling over when I was trying to put them on. So this year, I put some stabilizers with pads on the bottom. And I just got a wood block here, some L-shaped brackets, and put the pads on underneath. Put it all together, drilled it through the bottom of the foot here, and it made it nice and stable. They can stand up on their own now. Initially, I thought it was going to help me with my balance, and it doesn't really do that to a major extent. It does a little bit, but when I'm in costume, it kind of, with my body weight, it kind of flexes back and forth. So it didn't balance myself as much as the stilt itself when it's standing up on its own. I also spray painted this entire area black. There was a lot of silver bits, and of course I wanted the wood to look black because obviously the stilt isn't going to be showing. I actually had an addition to the costume to hide the stilt to make it look like my leg. In order to do that, I went to Joann Fabrics and found a nice fabric that I thought would look really nice with the rest of the costume, and basically had a wide leg, and it's very stretchy as well, so that way it looked like parachute pants almost, but all the way down. I wanted it as a stretchy material just in case it caught on something. I wouldn't have to worry about it ripping. So I put my leg in here, and I secure it by putting these two pieces of fabric through my belt, up through it, and then they latch onto it like that. I am going to have to get these snaps replaced because I realize the snaps are a pain in the butt to deal with because you have to be extremely accurate, and trying to get them apart is actually starting to rip this material anyway. So I'm going to have this upgraded. So it's just Velcro, something a little simpler and can easily be attached, detached, no big deal. I'm probably going to have this entire section redone so that it's a lot stronger. And the rest of it is super long, so that way it goes down and covers most of the stilt. And that way it doesn't look like I'm on a stilt. People know I'm on stilts. That's I'm not fooling anybody about that. But this is hiding it to give it the illusion that I'm really tall. It doesn't cover it completely. It doesn't go all the way down to the floor. I did that intentionally as a safety precaution because the last thing that you want is to be walking and you get fabric under your stilts. That could cause slippage or trippage. And you don't want that when you're 7'4" up in the air. Obviously, I'm not wearing the stilt right now, but this is about what it came down to be. So it covered most of everything. If you look down, of course, you would see some of the add-ons that I put on there, but honestly, it wasn't that bad. So, but it actually had a really, really nice effect. Unfortunately, last year I was only able to stay in my stilts for about 2 hours because after that time, I just could not stand any longer. I had to have assistance to get out of my stilts in the middle of the celebrity autograph area because I was in that much pain. But this year, to make sure that that didn't happen and to go a little bit longer, I got one final thing, and it's this. It is a 55-inch long walking stick. Now, I contacted multiple custom cane companies. I said, can you make me a custom cane that's 55 inches long? And they said no. Great. So I just happened to Google 55-inch cane, and a lot of the websites that I had already contacted popped up, but one new one popped up, and it was Bass Pro Shop, and they had a walking stick that was exactly 55 inches long, and it was perfect. It has the rubber foot on the bottom, and it had a nice little swirly detail to it, and the top of it was curved, and that enabled me to hold it like a cane. And it wasn't, I wasn't holding the very top of it. I was holding the slope of this. This made me so much more stable. It gave my character a little more depth because it gave it a really, really cool looking walk. And compared to the 2 hours that I was in my stilts last year, this year, I wore my costume for 2 of the 4 days. So it was a Thursday and a Saturday. And combined, I was able to stay in costume and in stilts for 11 and a half hours. So I say that's major improvement. One of the eye-catching features of my costume is my lightsaber. And as you can see, it is beautiful. It is custom. I love it. I don't know if I went over everything about this upgrades from last year, but basically I have a new pommel. I have an extension on it. This all came with it, and I actually am using a shorter blade this year. This is the shortest blade you can get. I don't remember what size it is, but I do have the longer... Actually, I have the longest blade. I have the standard size blade. I have like 3 of those. I have the longest blade you can get, and this is the shortest blade. I actually cut one of the standard size blades to be a little bit longer than this. I think it's about this long, but I ended up just using the shortest one. And one of the things I found difficult was last year I had to hold it the entire time because I took off the part that you can attach it to one of the belt attachments, and the extension doesn't have one drilled in already, and I wasn't about to try to machine my own fitting. So what I did was I looked online to find something that I could use, and I came up with this solution. This is a lighting grip that you can get for stage lights, and I got it at Guitar Center. So basically, as you can see, it's used for pipes, and you just stick the pipe in there, you put that there, and then you just twist this, and it stays secure, which is perfect for my lightsaber. As you can see, it goes around just like that. Latch this on, give it a few turns, and voila. Nice and secure. Now, how was I going to attach this to my body? I don't know if I went to Lowe's or Home Depot. I think I went to Home Depot, and I got some very long black pull chains for a fan. And I would like to get black chain, just because I think that looks really cool. But this was actually pretty invisible when I had it on my costume. So it worked out. I wouldn't mind having the chain. I think that'll be a nice addition, but this works perfectly well. And that just went around my shoulder and my neck like that. And it was long enough that it was able to hang over my satchel that I have. So that worked out perfectly. To me, the most iconic part of my costume is my mask. I got this from Saberforge, which is the same company that I got my lightsaber from. I cut along the jawline, and so it's articulated. And initially, I had connected these bits down here with some hair rubber bands that you do for like dreadlocks or other things, ponytails. Doom Angel actually gave me that suggestion, and it worked. But this year, I wanted it to be a little bit more crisp and precise. So what I ended up doing was I got some very small springs. So I got the springs in there. I drilled some holes into the sides here. I probably should paint them black, but right now they're just kind of there. But yeah, it gives it a nice taut look. And when I talk, it actually stays with my jawline pretty accurately, along with this piece of elastic down here, which actually goes around my jaw, so that when I go, ah, it actually goes, ah. On previous years, the lenses that came with the mask were clear, and I just wore sunglasses so that nobody could see my eyes, because I was wearing a balaclava that would cover from here and here. So you wouldn't be able to see any part of my face. But they fogged up constantly. And even though I had anti-fogging wipes, I had to keep doing it. After last con, I decided to get these, which are basically advertisement vinyl prints, which you can put on, like, you see them on buses all the time. You see an advertisement on the bus, people can still see out the windows, and this is what it is. It's a one-way vinyl film. But if you have it against my eye, you can still see it a little bit. So I went to a crafting store and got some face paint, and I just painted all the area around my eye that you would see. And it worked really well. It did rub off a little bit from the balaclava, but, you know, it happens. I had to reapply it once, so that's not a big deal. But no more. I have replaced the eyepieces with the faceless death mesh that you see in the masks, like death mask, and I have already installed it. And I'm not going to have to worry about fogging or eye makeup or anything like that. It's a little bit harder to see, but I can still see everything, and people won't be able to see my eyes. And that's the most important part. Other than that, everything else pretty much stayed the same. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any cosplay upgrades. And don't forget that I actually stream on Twitch with a live 2D avatar of my cosplay. So go check me out over there as well. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.